Great. Well, we're here in beautiful Deer Valley, Utah. I'm here with Troy Pospisil, the CEO and founder of Ontra. And we're delighted to have you, Troy. Thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. First of all, why don't you tell us a little bit about your company, Ontra? How did it come to be?
Yeah, so I used to work as a private equity investor, and I was really inspired by living in San Francisco, being in and around a lot of really exciting enterprise software companies that were creating a lot of value for large enterprises, automating a lot of what happens within a large enterprise and helping to make operations more efficient, make people a lot more effective in what they do. And I saw an opportunity within a lot of the workflows within private equity to apply technology. And so I stepped out of an investing role almost 10 years ago to start Ontra, a technology company, to solve and automate a lot of the workflows I dealt with in my day-to-day life as an investment professional in private equity.
Oh, that sounds fascinating. Tell us a little bit more about Ontra. What markets are you serving?
Yeah, so we refer to ourselves as a contract automation and intelligence company. What that means is we combine software and artificial intelligence with a global network of part-time attorneys to fully automate high-volume routine contract workflows. So that's everything from high-volume routine contracts like NDAs and joinders and engagement letters to digitizing and managing obligations in the most complex agreements like fund documents, which include limited partnership agreements and side letters.
In the environment we're in today, it sounds like data lineage, data integrity has got to be critical and core part of your business. How do you utilize intelligence or artificial intelligence in managing those processes?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially with the advent of artificial intelligence, data management has become incredibly important. All of our customers are regulated financial institutions, so they are very mindful of how their data is being used. Very recently, they've become even more mindful about how their data is being used within machine learning architectures. And so we've had to build our approach to building technology around those concerns. So we manage all of our own machine learning models. Those are all built with proprietary data. We don't push data out into third-party large language models because data management and integrity is absolutely critical to serving the customers that we do.
Interesting. How do you differentiate relative to the competition, or do you really have modern competition, or tell us about that?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing we do is we solve the whole problem. So we take a term you're probably familiar with, a real jobs to be done approach to solving customer problems. And we integrate, traditional software, artificial intelligence, and also an alternative labor model through a global network of part-time lawyer contractors. And we integrate all of that to completely solve the problems that we solve for our customers. On the AI front, I'm really excited about the verticalization of AI, which I think is very early days. We have an incredible corpus of data for the problems that we solve, and we're building our own proprietary models that can achieve a level of accuracy that far surpasses anything you're going to get with a generic large language model or generative AI model through a third party.
Let's double click on that. Share with me like a couple of use cases to kind of give real world examples of how that impacts your business outcomes for your customers.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things we do is we automate high volume routine contracts like NDA negotiation. And so we have a database of about 1 million NDAs that we've negotiated on behalf of all the largest investment banks and asset managers. And we leverage that data to automate most of the aspects of negotiating those contracts. So identifying clauses in those contracts, suggesting markups based on precedent and based on the customer preferences. Because we have so much data, we can do that in such a highly accurate manner, and it creates high quality, speed, lower cost, consistency, and ultimately risk mitigation for our customers in a way that you just can't get without having that large of a data set.
Another question I had, and as I was thinking about your business and reviewing some information this morning, is we're in a really fast changing environment around data management. The regulatory frameworks are increasingly being scrutinized at a governmental level. How do you stay ahead of the big trends around data management, AI, regulatory framework, and in order to future-proof your business for your customers so that they don't get leapfrogged in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. So I like to think about innovation as you really need a two-pronged approach. One, you need to listen to your customers, and you need to really partner with your customers to understand What are they worried about? What are the problems they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis? And use that as a guide to develop your product roadmap. In addition to that, you need to be an expert in technology as a technology provider, and you need to find a way to come up with solutions that your customer wasn't thinking about, or at least ways to solve existing problems that the customer never considered. There's obviously a famous quote from Henry Ford: if I asked the customer what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. So you both need to ask the customer, listen to the customer, and that helps guide our product roadmap, but also be an expert in the available technologies to apply those in a way the customer never thought possible.
I'm curious, what's your takeaways so far from the conference?
I would say generally I'm hearing a lot of cautious optimism, which I think I've heard at the conference, and I'm also hearing from our customers. We're obviously in a unique economic time. I think a lot of people have been expecting a recession now for almost a year and a half, but we continue to see mixed signals from the economy, mixed signals on inflation data, mixed signals on employment data. And we're obviously at a technology conference where there's a lot of excitement and a lot of innovation around various types of emerging technologies that people think are going to continue to have a huge impact on human productivity and what people and companies are able to do and accomplish. So cautious optimism is the theme of the day.
And AI is infusing everything.
AI is definitely top of mind and a big part of the conversation in the last few days.
Fantastic. Well, Troy, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here.